Welcome to the lab class of wet high intensity magnetic separator. There are three aims in this experiment: to study the effect of field intensity on concentration of iron ore with the use of ball matrix, to study the effect of matrix type on concentration of iron ore with fine ball matrix, coarse ball matrix and steel wool matrix, to study the effect of number of stages on concentration of iron ore in WIMS. These are the requirements for the experiment. You need hematite sample which should be finer than 150 mesh, that is approximately 100 micron. You need beakers and trays, laboratory WIMS equipment with fine ball matrix, coarse ball matrix and steel wool matrix. You need trays, you need air oven, you need weighing machine and few other things that may be required like wash water. So this is the procedure defined for the first aim. So we'll go through every step one by one, then we'll see how the experiment is done in the laboratory WIMS. Here you can see this is a rough setup of the equipment. So here this is your iron core, these are the coils, and this is the working space where matrix is placed. These are the converging pole pieces. These are converging in this diagram, but these are flat in our equipment. So we can make it converging, or even if it is flat, there is no issue. Okay. So for this experiment, we'll take 3 samples of hematite weighing 20 grams each. We'll prepare slurry with the samples. Then we'll place the ball matrix between the electromagnet poles. So we'll place the matrix between the poles and a tray under it, and we'll also place a tray under it, because whatever material we'll feed from the top, there should be something to collect the non-magnetic part that will pass through. So a matrix like this is placed here. Then we'll switch on the device and set the field intensity to 4000 Gauss. After that, pour the slurry of first sample to the matrix, then you will pour the slurry slowly onto the matrix. Pour some additional fresh water to the matrix to make sure that all the non-magnetic material has passed through it. So you will feed the slurry which you have prepared. After feeding the slurry, you'll feed some fresh water that is called as rinse water. So that will ensure that any non-magnetic particle, if it is there trapped in the matrix, it passes through the matrix and reports in the non-magnetic fraction. Then remove the tray containing non-magnetic material from below the matrix and place another clean tray under it. So after you have poured fresh water and you are sure that all the non-magnetic particles have passed through, you will remove the tray from here. The magnet will remain on. You will remove the tray and you will place a fresh tray under the matrix. Now turn off the device and pour fresh water on the matrix, removing the magnetic material entrapped in it. After that, you will turn off the magnet so that this poles demagnetize and the particles trapped inside the matrix are loose. So then you will again pour some fresh water, and that fresh water will remove whatever material is trapped inside the matrix. Then repeat the experiment for magnetic intensities of 8000 and 12,000 Gauss for 2 more samples. So we will repeat the experiment for 2 more intensities. After that, whatever samples we have collected here in the tray, that is magnetic and non-magnetic fraction, we'll have 3 samples of each. So we'll filter them, dry them, and after time we'll take the weights. Then we can follow a standard procedure to find out, estimate the iron content of concentrate, tailing and head sample. Now this is the procedure for second aim. Take 3 samples of hematite weighing 20 grams each. Here we are taking 20 grams in both the experiments. Why that? Because we want to make sure that excess material is not fed to the matrix, because the amount of material that can be fed to the matrix depends on the available working volume within the matrix, because the matrix is, suppose it is made up of balls, fine or coarse balls. So whatever voids are available, the volume of that void actually decides how much material can be fed to the matrix. Then in similar way you will prepare the slurry, then you will place a ball matrix, then between the electromagnetic poles, and you'll also place a tray under it. Then you have to switch on the device and set the field intensity to 6000 Gauss. So here what we are doing is we are setting the field intensity to 6000 Gauss. Now pour the slurry of the first sample into the matrix and allow the non-magnetic material to pass through it. Then pour some additional fresh water to the matrix to make sure all the non-magnetic material has passed through it. So procedure remains the same. The only thing here is for ball matrix we have set the field intensity at 6000 Gauss, and other things are same. So then we'll remove the tray containing non-magnetic part from below and place another clean tray under it. Then we'll turn off the magnet and pour some fresh water to remove the trapped magnetic material. Then the experiment is repeated for different matrix, that is coarse ball matrix and steel wool matrix. So this fine ball matrix had the balls of 3 mm size, and coarse ball matrix has balls of 6 mm size. Steel wool matrix, they are very fine. The dimension of the wools, it's like a thread wool, it's like a thread, so it's very fine, even very finer than 1 millimeter, much finer than 1 millimeter. Then you will collect all the magnetic and non-magnetic parts, you will drain them, if required you will filter them, and after that you will find out the Fe contents of concentrates, tailing and head sample. Now the third aim is actually to study the effect of stages. So we have to repeat the experiment number of times, first stage, second stage, third stage, so that thing will be clear afterwards. So let us take a look at the procedure here. So you need to take 3 samples of hematite weighing 50 grams each. Here we are taking actually more amount of sample because we have to repeat it multiple times. And in the first go we have to be very careful that with the fact that the available volume here is limited, so that not this 50 gram should not choke the matrix. Okay, so accordingly you have to be very careful, and you can repeat the first stage by splitting the material into 2 parts, because the matrix may not have enough volume to accommodate 50 grams of material at a time. Then prepare the slurry of the samples, place the ball matrix between the electromagnetic poles and tray under it. Then switch on the device and set the field intensity to 6000 Gauss. So here we are taking simple ball matrix, it can be coarse matrix or fine matrix, and we will do the experiment in stages. Then we have set the intensity here to 6000 Gauss. So we can keep this intensity fixed for all the experiments, just like the previous one. Now pour the slurry of the first sample into the matrix and allow the non-magnetic material to pass through it. Then pour some additional fresh water to the matrix to make sure that all the non-magnetic material has passed through it. Then remove the tray containing non-magnetic material and place another clean tray. Now turn off the device, pour some fresh water, and remove the magnetic material entrapped in it. So that is how you have done the previous experiments. Same way we'll do the experiment for this ball matrix. So the separation can be designated as stage 1. So because we have done just once we have done the experiment, so this is called a stage 1 separation. Now again we'll take a fresh sample. So that experiment with previous experiment, but whatever we have done, that is called a stage 1. So we have a concentrate of stage 1 and tailing of stage 1. Now again we'll take a fresh sample and repeat the experiment for 6000 Gauss to obtain a concentrate designated as concentrate 1 or stage 1 separation concentrate. Okay, and the tailings designated as tailing 1 or stage 1 separation tailings. So whatever we have got, that is stage 1 concentrate and stage 1 tailings. Then repeat the experiment with the concentrate 1 for 6000 Gauss. From step 2 to 6, that is in normal way we'll repeat the experiment, and whatever concentrate that we'll obtain after this repeating with this concentrate 1, that will be called as concentrate 2 or stage 2 concentrate, and the tailing will be called as tailing 2, okay, or stage 2 tailings. So we have done the separation up to second stage. Now again take a fresh sample, repeat steps 8 and 9. That means you'll do stage 1 separation, then stage 2 separation, then you'll obtain concentrate 2. Now repeat another experiment with concentrate 2 as your feed and follow steps 2 to 6. So again we'll do the normal experiment and obtain a new concentrate that will be called as concentrate 3, and the tailing remaining will be called as stage 3 tailings. Now we have got multiple concentrates and multiple tailings. So we have got concentrate 1, 2, 3 and tailings 1, 2, 3 and head sample. So for stage 1 separation, stage 2 separation, stage 3 separation, we have got concentrate 1, concentrate 2, concentrate 3, and we have also got tailing 1, tailing 2, tailing 3. Like that we have got different materials. So there is a flow chart that will make the things more clear. Now you can take a look at the demonstration video and have a feeling how this experiment is actually done in the laboratory. So what you can see here, this is the control panel for this wet high intensity magnetic separator. So this is the switch with which you turn on the magnets. This is the main power supply. Okay, if you turn it on, the power, this will start showing the readings and these lights will light up. This is a regulator for changing the magnetic field, and you can see these are the wires connected to the coil. These are the coils. So this is your device. So you can actually relate with whatever you have seen so far. These are your coils. These are the poles of the electromagnet, and this soft iron core is like this, associated with the electromagnet. This is your matrix. You will feed the material from the top. You have placed a tray below the matrix. Now you can take a look at the matrix from the top, and here you can see the balls are there. Balls are already there. There is a mesh also present here to restrict the top size of the particle, because oversized particles will be trapped between the voids. So this restricts the oversized particles and also keeps the ball in place, because we will wash it after the experiment is done. Now you can see the operator has actually turned on the device, so the power supply is on. Now the magnet will be turned on. So magnet is turned on. You can see it has started showing some readings here. We have actually already set the regulator to some reading for our experiment. Now you can see the operator has already prepared slurry in the beaker, and after the magnet is turned on, the slurry will be fed to the matrix. So the operator has started feeding the slurry prepared onto the matrix, and you can see the material is continuously flowing through it. That means that part contains mostly non-magnetic material. You can see Some material you can observe here over the mesh, that is mainly because either the voids have been filled and we have fed the excess material, so that's appearing here, that is trapped here, or it is possible that because of the magnet the particles have already accumulated here, and these might be the magnetic particles. So with water we have fed additional, the additional material in the beaker was cleaned with additional fresh water, and that also we fed to the matrix. Now you can see the water is draining from the matrix, and you can observe some of the clean water has also started coming, so very small amount of non-magnetic particles are draining from the matrix. Now we will remove that tray which is placed there, and we'll place a fresh tray and we'll turn off the magnet. So the magnet is now turned off. You can see a fresh tray has already been placed. Now we are pouring some fresh water onto the tray. Now you can observe clearly the material that was coming out earlier, that was reddish, and this has a darker color. So you can see the concentrate is now coming out. We are feeding additional water to remove the remnant material in the matrix. Now we can clearly see how clean the water coming out of the matrix is. That means most of the material has already been drained. We are still feeding additional water to make sure everything comes out. More fresh water. Why this takes time is because the remnants, some of the particles are still trapped inside the matrix. Now you can see more clean water. That means almost everything has come out. So that is how we have collected the concentrate and tailings in separate trays. So you can see this is your concentrate here, because this has got darker color. This is your tailing. We have drained the excess water from both the trays, and this is just for representation. You can clearly see this is a concentrate, this is a tailing. Depending on your aim, you can perform separate experiments. This was just a demonstration. So if your aim is to change the intensity, you will repeat the experiment that we have done following the standard procedure, and for different sets of intensities you will perform the experiment. If your aim is to study the effect of matrix, then you will repeat the do the experiment in the same way by placing different matrices between the pole pieces and performing the experiment in the standard way. If your aim is to study the effect of stages, then you will take a particular matrix, you will fix the field intensity, and you will perform the experiments in stages. So for studying the effect of stage, this will be your concentrate 1, this will be tailing 1. Then you will repeat the experiment with concentrate 1 to obtain concentrate 2 and tailing 2. So this is your stage 1 separation, this will be stage 2 separation. Then for stage 3 separation, you will take this concentrate 2 and do the experiment to obtain concentrate 3, and you will obtain tailing 3. So in single stage separation you will get only this. In second 2 stage separation you will get this, then this, and you will have this and this. In 3 stage separation you will get this, then this, and you will get this and this. So these are your tailing parts that I have mentioned here. There is a flow chart that will make things more clear. So this is how you will prepare the report for the first aim. So you are changing the field intensity 4000, 8000, 12,000. You'll take the weight of concentrate here, weight of tailings here. Then you'll find out the Fe percentage in the concentrate and tailings. This is how you will prepare the report for second aim. for different metrics. So different metrics will be here because the field intensity is fixed, so that we have not mentioned here. You'll find out the weight of the concentrate, weight of tailing, then Fe content of the concentrate and tailings. Now you can see these are some of the readings from the experiments that I had done earlier. So you can see effect of intensity here. So this is coarse wall matrix, this is fine wall matrix. So here you can see for both first aim and second aim, you can see the difference here quite clearly. So for low intensity, you can see the grade is high and your yield is less. As the intensity increases, your yield increases and your grade decreases, your recovery increases. So every effect is quite clearly observed here. In case of this fine wall matrix also, you can see with increase in intensity your grade decreases, those very slightly, but it decreases. Your recovery increases, your yield also increases. So the effect and the trend is similar in both the cases. Here additional values are given for your understanding how this silica and alumina, these things are actually, these values for concentrate and tailings are changing. And this was your feed grade for this experiment what I've done earlier. This is the feed grade. So 40% Fe, from 40% Fe you're able to get this concentrate with this value. So by simple grade balance you can find out what is the grade of the tailings, and you can clearly see here what we have got here. This is the grade of concentrate, this is the grade of tailings. So you can calculate and you'll get the feed grade very close to this. So that was the effect of field intensity. Now if you observe in the coarse wall matrix and fine wall matrix, so you will see that in case of coarse wall matrix your grade is relatively higher, whereas in the fine wall matrix your grade is lower. But at the same time recovery here you can see it is low, and here you can see recovery is very high. That is mainly because the gradient in the fine wall matrix is very high, and possibly the available spaces or voids there have actually trapped more material. That is also a possibility. And yield also, you can see yield, corresponding yield is also very high here. So that is what happens if you go from coarse to fine matrix. So this is the result. For much better results you can do the experiment with lesser amount of material so that more clarity is there, but the trend will be similar. You'll not get this high grade in case of fine wall matrix because it will trap even those particles which are not fully liberated but contain some of the magnetic part. So for the third aim, this is how you will prepare the report: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So you are getting concentrates, yield, recovery and tailings grade, then yield of tailing. And this is a flow chart that actually explains clearly how this multi-stage separation works. So this is a normal experiment. You are feeding to the beams, you are getting concentrate and tailing. Now this is two-stage separation. You're feeding the material to the beams, you're getting tailings 1, and you will get here concentrate 1. You're getting concentrate 1. So that same concentrate is again fed to the beams, you're getting tailings 2, and you're getting a final concentrate. So this is first stage separation. This is second stage separation. Now this is 3-stage separation. So you can see you're getting concentrate 1, tailing 1, concentrate 1, then tailing 2, concentrate 2, then tailings 3 and concentrate 3. So concentrate 2 is fed to the twins to obtain tailings 3 and final concentrate. So this is 3-stage separation. You can do 4-stage separation also, but here your third concentrate will become feed for the fourth stage. So we have actually limited our experiment to these three, so this is sufficient. So these are the results of the three stages. You can see this for the first stage. So these are the field intensity that I've kept. This is the grade of the concentrate. This is the grade of the tailing, yield and recovery. These things are also visible here. And yield of concentrate, you can see this is the yield of concentrate. In two-stage separation, you are getting, this is your final concentrate. So you can see the grade from here is increased to this level, and from here it is increased to this level. This is your tailings one. Tailings one, you can see it is almost similar to the tailing that we got in the single stage separation. Then grade of tailings 2 is slightly higher because the feed that we are giving for the second stage separation has a higher grade, and feed of the first stage separation was only 40% Fe. So that is why you can see this tailing to grade has gone high. Now in three stage separation, you can see the grade from 60 has increased to 61 and 54 to 58. Yield has reduced further. Then tailing 1, you can see it is almost similar. Tailings 2 is almost similar. And tailings 3 has further high grade. The grade of tailings 3 is further high because feed here is of higher grade. So everything is very much clear. So you can take some time and observe how the grades of different components, it is silica and alumina, is also changing with stages, and this will give you a very good idea. So after you've got all the readings, you can plot a graph like this. So everything is given: stage 1 Fe, stage 2 Fe, stage 3, stage 4. So here fourth stage is also in this graph, but you can clearly see the grade initially was higher, then it is reduced a bit. So things are pretty much clear here. Thank you.